Good morning, traders. Welcome to the live trading room. I hope you are all well this morning. Welcome. Right, so let's get started. We'll go through all the pairs. Let's look at the DXY. So the DXY and the euro yesterday, we were looking for a bullish move on the euro and a bearish one on the DXY. Let's have a look here. I'm on the 15-minute chart. Let's go down to the lower time frame. So we were looking for this to make a continuation pattern to the downside. We're looking for the indicator to confirm this three-way structure here. That did not come about, so we did not get that confirmation. So that structure has been invalidated. So that means that the structure on the DXY, it is a complete three waves here, and we are still going to see more upside. 1, 2, 3, and we're still going to see this wave 5 complete. Let's just have a look at the whole structure to see how the wave 5 is going to complete. We've got this set up here on the 1 hour. We're sitting up at the bottom. We're still above 50, so we're still going to see the DXY push a little bit higher. So that means for the euro, we're still going to see a bit more downside. Okay, so let's have a look at the bigger structure on the DXY on the 4 hour. So the 4 hour means that we are looking for this wave. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and this wave 5 is still underway and it's not yet complete. So this is what we've been looking for, 1, 2, 3. So this would have been a truncated wave 5 if that move was done and we're going to get this. So it does not look like truncations because this looks like a wave 4 or a 5 of the 5, and we're still going to see a bit more upside, and that upside will be coming into the blue box of the whole move. So initially here we are looking for this to be a 5-wave move as well, and that wave 5-wave move is a leading diagonal in wave A with an overshooting wave 5. As you can see, this is an A, B, C corrective structure, right? So we've got that. So let's have a look here. The internals 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 overshoots on the diagonal, and that is our structure there for a wave A. Down here on the B, we've got 3-wave structure. So we've got 3 waves in B. I should use the red for the yellow. This yellow must be represented by the red color. So just to clarify it here. So that's a move up in wave 1. This is a wave 2. The wave 2 is this running flat. I'll mark it shortly. Then we've got this wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 that ends with a diagonal. And we've got this one here as a 4. And we are now looking for the wave 5 to complete. So that wave 5 that I've just shown there, I must show it in the lower degree, in the green degree. I will show it shortly. We'll mark it shortly. So we are currently on this move here on the DXY. If we're counting this properly, we've got 1, we've got 2, we've got 3, we've got what the move yesterday was actually a wave 4 in the lower degree, and we are still going to see this complete. It could be an extended wave 5 because then we will be right in the blue box. Okay, so that is the structure within that. So if we wanted to count the waves on this one here, we would have something like this. We'd actually have 1. I'll show this one here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're ending diagonal in wave 5. Let's draw this one properly up here. So we've got this wave 1 here. Take a snapshot of this because this is what we're going to update on the chart. Looks very clear on the DXY. So we've got this as a wave 1 and a wave 2. Right, you can see that we cannot count 5 waves in wave 1. That's normal. So here it is a clearly extended wave, wave 3. So let's mark that in detail. Wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5. Wave 5 is not complete as yet. As you can see, we are still in this wave 4. Wave 1, 2, this is a lower degree, 3, 4. We're looking for this to continue to the upside. So we are currently here, 1 hour time frame. We should see the DXY push a little bit higher up to the blue box. Is the blue box marked there? Yes, the blue box is at 93.74. So that's exactly where we would expect the DXY to get to. Now on the diagonal, we can have the same thing. This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that you see in red is exactly the same degree as this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that we see on the DXY. Then we've got the ABC here, which will be in the lower degree, ABC as well. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. We also have a diagonal here in this degree. So just to avoid messing it up, let's look at this here. You would see that within this, you've got 5 waves here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 within the A. You've got 1, 2, 3 within the B. You've got a diagonal 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Almost everything aligns here on this structure 1. Let's look at this one here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that is the lower degree here. You can label this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You'll see that that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the green is exactly the same as this one here. So you can do the same thing for this here. So here you would have 1, 2, 3, because this is a diagonal. So you are allowed to have 3 waves in 1. You're allowed to have 3 waves in 2. You're allowed to have 5 waves in 3. That's allowed. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, and you'll have another 3 waves there for the wave 5. So that is the structure that we're looking at here. So we did get it wrong yesterday. We were still looking for this one to come down here. So this could have ended here with a truncated fifth. So we got it wrong, completely wrong on this one. On the DXY, that's normal. You do get some wrong. That's the nature of the structure. So what we were looking for here, we were looking for a confirmation to the downside on the 1 hour, which never came. So that is that structure did not play out. So that is the adjustment. A little bit more upside. We are still bearish. It's just not going to happen here. So we're still going to have a bit of a push to the upside, and we are still going to look to sell down here. Right. So the exact structure is the complete inverse on the euro. It's exactly the same structure on the euro. Right, so the euro, again, we looked at this one to be a wave. There's a possibility, we spoke about this possibility on Sunday, to be the wave 5 as well. So this will be the wave 5 of this structure. Let's mark it here. So we would have this as a wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and we are now looking for this to complete the wave 5. So we also look for this one to push a little bit lower within this. This is where we are currently, so we look for this one to push a little bit lower as well. Now that push down will also be at the blue box. Okay, so that push to the downside will also be down to the blue box. Mikhail is saying, will the correction reach 2550? I'm not sure which chart you're referring to, but I can look at that question at the end. So let's finish this first. If there's not 2550 on the euro, so you may be referring to a different chart. Okay, so let's have a look at this one here. Also, we've got a diagonal here. Let's just mark it clearly. We also have a diagonal here in A. We also have a diagonal in A. We also showed this one on Sunday. So internal structure here is also 5 waves. It follows exactly the same as the DXY, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. So we've got that, and we've got the 3 waves here in the B degree. So we've got that as A, B, C corrective structure. Now we would also have wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 here. So that's a 5 here for this move here. So we've got 5 waves in the green degree. Again, like the DXY 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there. We also have a diagonal here, which we can mark also in blue. So remember, this is important for the internal structure. It has to be a 5, 3, 5. So this has to be a diagonal and not 3 waves. So here you've got 3, 3, 5, and a 3 on the wave 5. So that's the structure that we have. So we're currently here on the lower degree, wave 5 in the green. So this is wave 1, 2, 3, 4. We are on the 1 hour. We are looking for this one to make a slight move to the downside. And that move to the downside is onto the blue box. So we are still missing the blue box by a measly few pips. So we are very close to that level. So we'll be looking for this one to reverse the blue box. We can actually accept, let me just switch off here. It can be accepted that this structure is complete here. So that's why even when we expected upside, structurally it is supported that we can have this completing here. Okay, we can see the sequence now in the lower degree, but if it had completed here, that would have been acceptable as well, because this bigger structure complies to the rules and the guidelines of a zigzag. So we've got a clear zigzag here, ABC structure, a little bit lower, and we'll be looking for this to reverse around the blue box. That's how we're looking at the two pairs. Also, pound US dollar did not confirm the move to the upside. We were looking for this to break out of this structure on the 4 hour, did not happen. So if you look at this structure here on the pound, looks like we have something like this here. So we've got the 3 waves here as the start of the move, 1, 2, 3. So the adjustment here will be as follows, 1, 2, 3. Do we have something like this on the pound? Again, another 3-wave structure here, and making an expanding flat before we make a move to the upside. So let's see what we get here on the pound. So let's look for pullbacks up until this level. If this level is broken and we may continue to make a correction, remember the bigger corrective structure on the pound, right? The bigger corrective structure on the pound. Judy saying, can we see the box? Let me just check the time. When was this? Right, about 3 minutes ago. I mean the box on the euro. The box on the euro, if you're referring to the box on the euro, sorry, I missed that. If you're referring to the box on the euro, let's clear this. The blue box on the euro is here. You can project it yourself as well. So this is the blue box at 116.22. That is the projection of the blue box on the euro. Happiness, Jude? All right, let's have a look here. Great, so that is the blue box on the euro. That's where we're going to be looking for the euro to trade down to. We are still bearish down into the blue box. Let's go, we are now on the pound. Let's go back to the pound. Let's bring back our structure here. It's already off. All right, so that's what we're looking for on the pound, not playing out. We'll be looking for that to retest the blue box. Still a bearish the US dollar chief. Now, US dollar chief is interesting that US dollar chief is actually making a 3-wave corrective structure here. So this should see euro US dollar chief at least make a move back to this level. That will be a 3-wave structure. If we make that 3-wave structure, we'll look to sell around that level. Okay, so that is a US dollar chief. Let's look at the indicator here. Looking at the 4 hour, we have not broken above the 50%. And if we do this, that means we are still going to see more downside on the chief. Let's keep an eye on the chief like that. All right, US dollar CAD. Yesterday, we looked for this to push and continue into the blue box. We are now in the blue box. We've touched the blue box. Do we get a reversal right now? If we get, it looks like we're still going to push a little bit higher into the blue box. The push into the blue box with divergence on the RSI, then we'll look for this one to come to the downside. Okay, so let's watch this one here. I'm not keen on taking it right now. I'd rather wait for it to give me at least a confirmation for more downside. Especially with the dollar being so strong, I'm not keen on taking that one now. Audi US dollar. So we had this corrective structure here on Audi US dollar. Audi US dollar is currently within this blue box. Let's show the bigger corrective structure here. We are within this blue box and it looks overextended. And it was interesting that we made a corrective structure within the blue box. That means that was not going to be respected. So we are now currently around this level. This is still going to show us a bit of a continuation to the downside. Let's show the divergence has also been invalidated here on the 4 hour. We'll check on the daily. So let's watch this divergence on the daily. If that is valid, then we're going to get the hour reversal. But this is now starting to look pretty much overextended compared to this. But we're not going to let it go as yet. It has not invalidated the guideline yet. I'll show you the guideline, what the guideline says about that. So we've got so many things there. Let me just clean up. Let me just clean it up. So the guideline can only invalidate that structure if we go below the 1,618. So this, as long as this is still within the 1,618, that is still an acceptable zigzag. But as it is now, it's starting to have, it does not really have the right look, but let's wait for it. We have to be guided by the rules. Right, so that is Audi US dollar on the daily. Right, so on the daily, I want to see if we've got any divergence there. There is some divergence between these and this. So let's see here if we're going to get that reversal. So doesn't look like we're going to, this can even be invalidated with this, so we can just make a move straight down, because that looks pretty much impulsive on the daily. So let's just keep an eye on this. There's no reversal as yet imminent on the Audi, so we're going to look for the 1 hour continuation patterns to the downside until we get an indication of a reversal. But you also have to sell this carefully, because it is too low to sell at these levels. Even though we've got this, as far as the 1 hour is concerned, this is bearish. We are going to see downside. This is going to continue to the downside on the 1 hour. New Zealand also continues lower. So just make a note, guys. The market is a bit slow over the last 12, 15 hours. We should see a catalyst with the FOMC minutes later on this evening at about 8:30. That is 6:30 GMT. So that should have an effect on the market. So the FOMC is the minutes of the MTC minutes that would have been held about 2 weeks prior. So that has that gives clues in terms of the MPC rate decision over the next coming days. So we'll look for clues there to see whether there is going to be a rate increase, or whether they are hawkish or they are dovish. So that should have an effect on the market. We should see some market moves later on this evening. All right, so that is New Zealand. We've got to move to the upside. So these spikes are obviously as a result of the RB, of the Reserve Bank New Zealand interest rate decision. They have kept it the same at 0.25. The forecast was that it was going to be increased to 0.5. It's kept the same. That has resulted in this spike to the downside, but a move back here. So we are currently making this corrective structure. We're going to see a three-wave structure here on the New Zealand. Let's watch. The indicator is showing us downside only. We are not seeing a bounce here. So we should see this one continue to the downside. US dollar ZAR. So US dollar ZAR is showing continuation to the upside. It has actually made this three-wave corrective structure. We're going to see more upside, and if this is going to make more upside, we won't see that reversal from the blue box on US dollar CAD, because these are correlated. Right, so that is a US dollar ZAR continuation to the upside in the short term. Pound yen. Now, pound yen, this will be a pullback. We could get a deeper one here, but that should still continue to the downside. As far as the 1 hour is concerned, we are here. We can get this continuation to the downside. Let's have a look at the bigger structure here on pound yen. So since the reversal, we were looking for these to make a reversal and make an expanding flat around this level. So that, as you can see, has been invalidated. This is not an expanding flat, because that B, so-called B, what would have been a B wave did not even take the top here. So this is not an expanding flat. So this can still push lower back to these levels. Okay, so that is a pound yen, US dollar yen. US dollar yen is showing a bit of strength with the strength in the dollar. We should see a bit of a correction here and a move like this, but we should still see continuation to the downside. Why do we expect that? It's because of this 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 up, 1, 2, 3. So no surprises that we're getting a pullback on US dollar yen. We can get a corrective structure similar to this in size, and we've got this expanding flat here in the middle. Right, that is US dollar yen, euro yen. So euro yen, we also expected this one to bounce at this level. Remember what we want on the euro. If we get an opportunity for this to bounce back here and gives us a flat, we will look for a trade here. That will be a good trade to take it all the way down. Nothing yet. We are getting what looks like a bit of a pullback, but that cannot confirm anything. So we'll wait for that confirmation. Even if it does not reach all the way up and it just gives us this, we'll still look to sell this to the downside. Chief also is showing us a pullback. We can get something like this on the Chief, but we'll look for this one to at least come take this low here. We're still looking for this to continue lower. Remember, the structure on the Chief is this one here. Let's just remind you. we are still looking to play this regular flat here. Okay, so we'll be waiting for this to give us a clear setup, corrective structure here. On the 4 hour will be a nice one to take it all the way down, even if it comes down here first, but we'll look for this to go all the way down. We are at the top here, still below 50, so Chief Yen still bearish. CAD Yen, we are still bearish after making the 3-wave pullback here. We've only made an impulse. We've not had a correction since this move, but this is still a strong move to the downside. Do not sell at this stage. Wait for a deeper correction. After such a strong move needs to come a correction. And if we're going to take it lower, we're going to take it lower after that corrective structure, even if it is up to this level first. New Zealand, again, also a pullback after making the 3-wave pullback. So the 3-wave pullback last week, we've now dropped back to this level. This was our target. Now, if we consolidate here, that means this area is going to be invalidated and we're going to see more downside. Remember, this was the blue box forecasted for this move. We only got a reaction from the blue box, and that reaction came in 3 waves. So if it's coming in 3 waves, that means this does not go to the upside. We should see a continuation to the downside. So that's what we saw when we got to this level. Now we are consolidating at this structural level. It's not a support or resistance level. We do not consider support or resistance. We look at structural levels. So now we are here, we are pulling back. So remember New Zealand, 4 a.m. this morning, we had, that is 6 my time. So 4 a.m. GMT, right? So we had the RBNZ rate announcement. So that's why you see that spike on the New Zealand. So a bit of a pullback. We should still see the weakness in the New Zealand going forward. Audi Yen also reached this level, and as you can see, that is not going to give us a structure at that level. So we're just going to see, we are looking at this to have completed all the 3 waves here, and we look for this one to continue lower. Consolidation here, and especially a 4-hour correction would be a nice one to take it all the way down. Clear bearish moves. So a bit of patience with these structures here, for them to build. Gold on the 4-hour is still bullish as far as the RSI is concerned. We are here, so we can get something like this here on gold. We should still see a bit more upside. Okay, so this started with a strong impulse back to the upside with a correction here, but this has been pretty slow, as you can see with the slope here, but we still expect a bit more upside here. After this, we should see a bit of a pullback there. Silver. Let's have a look at silver. Let me just reload my charts, guys. Right, silver 4 hour. We are right on the 50% and the reset here. What happens from here? We don't have really any direction on the 4 hour. Let's have a look on the 1 hour. 1 hour is showing us a bit of a pullback there. We should see silver do this, but we are bullish overall. Okay, so if we do not get this move to the downside, we're not really interested in this unless it gives us a clear 4 hour correction here. Okay, so that is silver. Not very clear in terms of a setup. Platinum on the 1 hour, we've got a setup for downside. We can see platinum drop back to this level. Brent crude. Brent crude 1, 2. We should see this one push to the upside here. We can get a move down here. Now, if you look at the whole structure here on Brent crude, let's switch everything off. we can get this being a three-wave structure with 3 up, 3 down. Whatever is going to come here, whether it's 5 or 3, doesn't really matter. It can be flat, and then we still look for this to make one more down before any reversal to the upside. So let's watch this. It's going sideways at this level. No direction really. It's not really going anywhere. Right, pound CAD, we had a passing move and we're expecting this to continue to the upside. So that move did not play out on pound CAD. We were looking for this to play this structure. Clearly now, because we've made a move to the downside, that structure changes. So we've got this one looking like a running flat. Can we get pound to do that before we push to the upside? What the implication of that is that we're going to have this as a three-wave structure here. So let's watch this structure here for a bit more downside. Not confirmed as yet. Do not rush it. Wait for a clear confirmation here on pound. Okay. So whether this is the 4-hour correction for this to continue to the downside, can't confirm it as yet. Let's just keep an eye on that one. I'm not really keen on taking that one as it is, not the clearest. Right. So we had a push to the upside with the news this morning. Remember, there's some correlation between New Zealand and Audi. So the spike came with the Audi rate decision this morning. So we've got that pushing down, spiked up and pushed down, and pound Audi is still intact and still looking for more upside. The 1 hour is also supporting the upside here. So we're still gonna see upside here on pound Audi. New Zealand, similar. Right, so New Zealand, what I was looking at here earlier, let me see if I've still got my charts. I want to go to the New Zealand. That structure on the New Zealand, yeah, there we go. Now you'll see that I've marked this here. What you don't see there is that this is a corrective structure and this is 3 waves. Now you'll ask me, where am I getting 3 waves? Because we are only just seeing 1, 2. It is not 2 waves here. It is 3 waves. Let me show you this on the 15 minutes. You'll see that it's actually a corrective structure with 3 clear waves. What has happened here before the rate announcement about a couple of hours ago? We were pushing to the upside here. We were correcting here with this move to the downside. This looks like a 3-wave move to the downside. We spiked to the upside and we came down. Now look how this respects the structures here. The structures here. This is a regular flat. So this is a 1, 2, 3 wave structure. And we're looking for this to make a continuation to the upside. So that's why we're saying that this is a 3-wave corrective structure. And then we'll look for this to make a move to the upside. Right, so let's have a look at that in the 1 hour. We don't necessarily trade the 15 minutes. We trade from the 1 hour upwards because 15 minutes can be misleading. Now, if you look at the 15 minutes, that looks like a down move, right? If we're trading this on the 15 minutes, what would you do? You will look to sell this. This looks like a flag and you're going to be looking for this to sell. You're going to be looking for this one and for this one to come down. But in essence, if you look at the 1 hour, this looks like it's pushing to the upside. And we're going to get a corrective structure here and we're going to get more upside. Okay, so let's keep an eye on that one. Remember, we are bullish on the Euro New Zealand from here. Yesterday, we're looking for this one to push up higher. So this looks like a consolidation and we are still going to expect more upside from here. But it's not the cleanest of structures. What you want to do if you're not in this trade, you want to wait for 1 hour correction and more upside. Pound New Zealand, same thing, but this time on pound New Zealand, this is an expanding flat, makes a move down, makes a move up, spikes up. Remember, we do not ignore spikes as far when we do Elliott wave analysis, we consider spikes. So the spike is not an error. A spike means price has traveled here, so we cannot ignore an area in which price traveled. So we still consider that. Okay. We still consider that. Aaron says he's got no audio. Please check on your side. Everybody can hear me. Everyone can hear me except you, so it must be on your side. Please just check there. All right, so this is now a three-wave pullback, and we are now looking for continuation to the upside as far as the New Zealand is concerned. Pound chief, we have been bearish since we made the reversal in the blue box. So this is now a corrective structure here at these levels. We are still expecting this to continue lower. Euro pound. Let's go to the bigger structure again for our. One, two, three. We've actually made 5 waves to the upside here. 5 waves, 1, 2, 3, and we're looking for more upside. Okay, we're looking for more upside here. So even if we do get a pullback, we'll look for more upside. Okay, so that is a Euro pound, Euro New Zealand. Euro New Zealand, let's reset here. I think I've got a lot of data on my charts, so let's just reset again. Continue with the Euro New Zealand. Right, Euro New Zealand. Remember the trade setup on Euro New Zealand was here, and we're looking for this one to trade even higher. So we've got the spike. You can see that the spike really did not affect anything because we are back exactly where we were before the news announcement earlier on. So when the announcement was made, we were here and we are exactly back right there. Are we going to continue to the upside? Let's wait for the confirmation there. We have not quite reset it here at the bottom, so we can still do this here before pushing to the upside. That is Euro New Zealand, Euro Audi. Euro Audi is consolidating at this level. We will see more upside on the 4 hour. Very bullish. We just want to see this one reset, then we look for continuation to the upside. EuroCAD. EuroCAD, we looked for this to push to the upside, give us a correction and more upside. So that may not materialize. Let's have a look here at this scenario. So we pushed to the upside, we expected a correction. We were right at the top here. Okay, we're right at the top, right at the top, right at the top. Let's go to the daily at the same area and see what's happening. You'll see that this situation was exactly the same scenario that we had on US dollar yen. We'll go back to that. I've shown this earlier. The daily, as much as we've made an impulse, the daily is still pretty bearish and we are resetting here at the top. So we don't really expect this to push much higher than this. So we'll expect this one to make a pullback. It was exactly the same scenario on US dollar yen. I think I showed this week on Monday. So remember what we wanted on US dollar yen. We were looking at this to be a three-wave structure as follows. 1, 2, 3, and for this to go. Okay, so we did get the reaction here. We did get this move here up to this level. But when we got to this level, we wanted to see a correction for more upside. But we were not going to expect any more upside because this was below 50. And when you look at that on the 4 hour, we were saying downside. This was saying downside. So we're not going to get a move to the upside. We're not going to get a move to the downside, to the upside. So that's why when this gave a corrective structure here, we said we're going to get a move to the downside. Okay, so just to show you that it's exactly the same scenario as where we are right now with EuroCAD. So we're not expecting upside. So this here, this continuation pattern here, if it's on the 1 hour, we will look to take it back down. Okay, so this may be slightly different to what we have on the website, because on the website, we're expecting this to continue to the upside, but we need to at least get a three-wave structure. At least that's what we're seeing with the indicator before we push to the upside. Right, so that's EuroCAD, EuroChief. We don't buy EuroChief. This has now invalidated this level. We are consolidating at this level. We will see Euro Chief continue much lower than where we are currently. So any move to the upside on Euro Chief, remember this is long-term downside, any pullbacks. That's why even when this was going up, I was not interested. I'm only interested in this downside. That's Euro Chief. Euro Audi New Zealand. This would have been affected by the New Zealand news this morning as well. We had a spike to the upside. Actually, the spike on this one started from yesterday. I will get to US dollar chief. I see you want us to look at US dollar chief. I will get to that. So let's run through this first. My charts are loading slowly today. I don't know why. Every time I reset, it becomes okay. I don't know if it has to do with the data that I have on TradingView. The connection looks fine. Right, let's go down. Euro Chief, we were on Euro Chief, we wanted to look at Audi New Zealand. So Audi New Zealand, we had a spike to the upside. So you can see that even the fundamentals do not change the views. We are still looking for this to come around 1,02, 1,03. So we've made a move to the upside. This is a move up. We have 1, 2, 3 here. So these are 3 waves. We can push to the upside, but we're still expecting this to continue to the downside. Any pullback here is just giving us an opportunity to sell it some more. Audi CAD. Audi CAD, the target is still here. We're expecting a bounce at this level. We are very close to that level. So it's just looking for that to get to that level. Audi Chief also got to this level. This was our target. So we are now making a pullback. We've already broken that level. So it will not be surprising to see this give us a 3-wave pullback and give us a setup for more downside. Maybe even something similar to this in terms of correction. Right, New Zealand CAD. New Zealand CAD has reached that level that we wanted. Is it going to now continue to the upside? Let's see what we're going to get from this. So the structure here on New Zealand CAD will be 1, 2, 3. New Zealand Chief. New Zealand Chief, 1, 2, 3. We'll expect only 3-wave pullback here. I'm still expecting this to continue lower. So the structures are mostly messy right now. So no real clear setups as we did yesterday, because we've already made this big impulsive move. So now we wait for setups again, for the market to set up and give us opportunities again. So wait a bit, do not rush it. CAD Chief, this will continue to the downside, especially a 4-hour corrective structure. This one well below 50, this will continue to the downside and possibly reach this level, but wait for it to confirm. Those are the Forex pairs. There is a question about US dollar Chief. Let's have a look at that. So guys, there is an issue. It has been brought to our attention. We have noticed it. It doesn't look like it's something that we can do anything about. So what is happening is that, I'll show you what I mean now. When you open up a chart, previously you would be able to zoom into this chart. So you can see I also don't have that plus sign to zoom into the chart. Okay. I also don't have that plus sign to zoom into the chart so that I can see it clearly. That is something that comes from TradingView. We have not changed anything on our side. All we do is we just link the charts so you can open it up. So we do not know what needs to happen with TradingView so that that functionality can come. Unfortunately, that's not something that we can do anything about here. So US dollar Chief, this is a 4-hour chart. We've got a pullback here. We've got a move to the upside. So here we are getting a pullback on US dollar Chief. So we're expecting this 3-wave structure, and then after that, then we'll expect a move to the upside. That is US dollar Chief. On the 4 hour, let's go back now to the 1 hour. So on the 1 hour, this is from yesterday. So on the 1 hour, we're getting this as a three-wave move. So this, we could get a pullback here and a move to the downside before we push to the upside. Mark, you had a question regarding US dollar chief. I didn't quite read the question. You just said you wanted to revisit US dollar chief. Can you please revisit US dollar chief and compare to the website diagram? Because we expect upside first. I think I just want to confirm it. So this is the structure on, look at the 4 hour on US dollar chief. So the 4 hour is showing us this move. So the 4 hour is a bigger structure. So obviously you don't have the detail here. This detail, you find it on the 1 hour, and this detail here is showing us a wave 2 here and then upside. So we're expecting a bit of a pullback and then continuation to the upside. I don't know if that is clear there, Mark. Great, so let's continue with the rest of the charts. Let's go to the indices. Right, the indices are still bullish. S&P 500, nothing has changed. Just because you're seeing red here, does not mean that we have reversed. It just means that this is lower than where the market opened. The price is lower than where the market opened on the daily. This is what that means. But we are still bullish on the 1 hour. As you can see, we even have setups on the 1 hour, so we're still seeing more upside. Nothing has changed. Above 50, reset, pullback, expanding flat, expect more upside on the S&P 500. Dow Jones Industrial, expect more upside. Continuation pattern, we look for more upside. So it's a parabolic move to the upside, as I've been saying for the last couple of days on the indices. Let's look at the Nasdaq. Okay, the Nasdaq, we can get one more down here before we push to the upside. But let's have a look at the bigger structure on the 4 hour. So the structure on the 4 hour is this here. So we're looking for this. This is a corrective structure with 1, 2, 3 here, complex correction here, 1, 2, 3. So we're expecting this consolidation in the 1 hour here, and then more upside. We need to have this trading above 50 to confirm that move. Otherwise, we can still get one more down here before we push up higher. That is the Nasdaq UK 100. UK 100 looks like we're going to have a three-wave pullback here. We've got a move down here. We've got up here. We are looking for this to come around this level. We'll still look for this to give us more upside. The DAX, same three-wave pullback and then upside. Those are the indices. Nikkei. Okay, so the Nikkei, we finally got our move to the downside here. Has it ended? Doesn't look like it. We're still going to get one more down before we get a push to the upside. Refer to this chart on the side. We've been looking for this to come down for a while. Nifty, are we finally going to get a pullback here? We should get a bit of a deeper pullback of like a 4-hour correction here and more upside on the Nifty. Let's go to the cryptocurrencies. Right, so the cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, yesterday we were looking at these to be the 4-hour corrective structures. Let's just have a look here. We're looking for this to be the 4-hour corrective structures. We didn't go far. Instead, we are just getting this as three-wave pullbacks. The structure is still the same. We're still at the bottom. Now we're trading a little bit below 50 here. Could we be ready for a move for a deeper corrective structure? Doesn't look likely that we're going to do that as yet. This still looks pretty much corrective, so we can still get this one making a move here and then upside. Okay, so let's wait for that confirmation. Confirmation comes when this corrective structure is done and we get a candle closing above the flag. So we're still here. This is not too far from the 50, so let's watch first. Let's have a look at the daily chart on this. So the daily seems to be resetting here. or we're still bullish, pretty bullish here. So we are resetting here on the daily. So let's watch this corrective structure here on Bitcoin. Doesn't look like we are ready to play out that diagonal as yet. Still looks like we're going to see a bit more upside, but let's wait for this corrective structure here. So this will be the decider here, the structure that we get here. In any case, even if you do get a pullback playing out from the diagonal, we should still see more upside. Right, Ethereum, similar structure to Bitcoin. Yesterday, we were seeing this as a possible move for another leg up higher that has been invalidated. So that is a channel on Ethereum. We're looking for this one to give us one more up because we're looking at this. Okay, we only got just that move here, so we're looking at this. So we've got a move down here in 3. It is likely that we can get here a move here again in 3. And if we do get something like that, we'll be looking to take Ethereum back up high again. And this will be a nice setup for more upside on Ethereum. Okay, so the divergence was clear yesterday, but we wanted to see one more up before that move comes down. Okay, so that's what we have there on Ethereum. Let's watch for this here. Let's watch out for that. That is Ethereum. Mark says the target is 2550. Not sure what you're basing that on. Did you do a fib level on that? Is that a 38% or a 50% or 61%? Litecoin. So Litecoin looks like a strong impulsive move to the downside. So let's watch this one here. We've got 3 waves down here. We want to see if we're going to have another 3 waves. If we get another 3 waves and we get another 3 waves, that's a very nice structure for more upside on Litecoin. We'll keep an eye on that Ripple also. And this looks impulsive, so we should see this one pull back and give us a structure like this. We'll look for more upside. Doge, same. 3 waves down. We want to see if we're going to have a pullback, 3 waves down, and then more upside. All right. Cheers, Ruth. You're welcome. Thank you for waking up so early. 4:45 in New York. Thank you, Ruth. Right, so this is all the pullback on Doge. So we would expect this kind of corrective structures on the cryptocurrencies all around. ADA. Now, ADA still looks pretty strong. As much as there are pullbacks on the others, we've got this as a 3-wave structure. Can we get ADA doing that? Now, a deeper pullback here means we're not going to have so much downside here, and the structure is going to be like this. So we wait for these structures to build on all the cryptocurrencies. Lastly, on the cryptocurrencies, I'm going to look at Link. It will obviously be the same structure. So we've got a bit of a pullback here. 3 waves down, 1, 2, 3. Then we'll look for more upside. So let's watch this. And finally, on XLM, this is a strong move to the downside. We'll expect this one to give us at least a pullback and a move like that. Right, so those are the cryptocurrencies. Wink, those that like Wink, looks like a 3-wave pullback here, but it looks like we still have a bit more downside here before we push to the upside. Let's watch Wink around these levels. That's all for today, guys. LTA, we will have one on Friday, and we should resume back to normal sessions from next week. Thank you for watching and for your patience. Have a great day. I will see you tomorrow. Cheers. Bye-bye.